a place that females believe that you just don't respect women, period. And you've turned a few viewers off.
Oh no!
Yeah, and these viewers said, you know, Rabs, if you do a solo show in addition to or conjunction with, you know, they'll tune in and they'll learn some Torah. But they just can't. They were repulsed by how disrespectful you are to women. So I wanted to first of all get your reaction to that, and then I have something else that I want to continue with that on that topic. So what is your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction to that is I think there's something to it.
Okay.
Like, I do think I have a streak of, like, sadism, like a streak of, like, hatred for women. And that's why I'm working the 12 steps in sex addiction and going to psychotherapy and working on this. So, yeah, I do like to bother women a little bit, maybe hurt them just a little bit.
Right.
Just a little bit of sadism.
Okay. And I wanted to also throw in there that women said that you look at them like sex objects.
Yeah, well, if they're hot.
And it's always like, you know, if they're hot, and it always comes back to porn, and that you just view, when you were in porn, that's how you view women, is just, we don't want to hear from you, we don't need your brains. Nobody tunes in to see the brains of porn women. You know, it's all tits and ass. You know, and the only thing they want to hear coming out of their mouth, is them sitting on you writing, woo, woo. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Hey, cowboy, woo, woo. You know, this game is a blowout, don't you think? Look at this. There's nobody in the same zip code.
That was 99 yards.
There's nobody in the same zip code as him. He's just like running by himself. All right. We're watching the Monday Night Football game. Yeah. Hey, Hector's in there, and also Blev the Champ. He's a big Rabs fan. All right, we love to see you in there.
But I looked at women that way before I started writing on the porn industry. So
yeah,
the porn industry just expresses how I look at women.
Okay. Henry says we need a Jewish woman to join Torah Talks. I've suggested that we need a Jewish woman to sit here, and you know, I think it would be great to have her debate against you. You know, and you just like be spilling out your you know, going on one of your things, and then she could just like tear you apart and rant all over you. All right, so there's that. So I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Now, the thing I wanted to penetrate was, you know, being the great psychologist that I am, I have a degree in psych, is I wanted to explore, do you think that it's possible, Levi, that, or let me just rephrase that, I think it's possible, and I want to get your reaction to this. I think it's probable that the reason why you disrespect women, the reason why you hate women, is because you hate your mother, and and women remind you of your mother, and you're trying to get back at them. You're getting revenge at them for something that your mother did to you. She failed you, and you have resentment towards her.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The only word I'd add is mother figure, because I had various like mother figures looking after me when my real mother was dying of cancer. So I would say that probably in some of those reactions I probably felt over-controlled and developed rage at women, and that's like still with me 40 years later.
So that's what all this is.
Yeah.
You know, so the imperfections that you find in women, whether they you know, don't have good grammar, or they're a few pounds overweight, or whatever, the imperfections that you find, you go, ha, you're not perfect, you've got this, you've got that, you puzzle them. You say that they're inappropriate and they're failures and this because you're striking out at your mom.
Yeah. But I mean, the other half of my life is striking out at my dad. So.
That's where I come in. That's the jazz I get. I get spooed on. Yeah, but the women, you're spooing on them because you're trying to get back at your mom. Okay, so at least you admit it. So identifying the problem is the first step of the 12, right?
Exactly.
All right, so we covered that. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting back at this one. You'll notice in the chat room, very strange. Because you know, Rabs has a huge entourage, a huge following of females, usually single. You'll find that in the chat room right now, chat room's filling up, it's piling in. It's all guys, Levi. You've driven all the women away.
Remember how it used to be all women?
It used to be all women, and then, you know, Levi would just pop off every week about, you know, how much, you know, the ones in the overweight need not, weigh down the chat room, you know what I mean? So, if you're not hot, don't enter the chat room, and eventually, you don't see females in there. Hey, gee, I wonder why that is, Levy. Right? So, like, we do the stag thing here, thanks to Levy's, issues with his mother, because he's got issues with his mother. All right, so what do we got here?
Did you hear there was this Hollywood screenwriter who made all like the hookers and the dead women in his screenplays? He gave them all the name of his mother.
Oh, just to get back at her? Are you going to do that? Are you going to do that, Levy, in your porn shoot, in your next movie? Yeah. I bet you that's what you want to do. That's your ultimate. Dream. Is, you know what? I'm going to do a movie, and it's going to be about growing up Seventh-day Adventists, and there's going to be plenty of sex in it, and doing it in the bathtub. Read his book. It's shit and giggles.
Just like to say, I love my parents. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. So somebody asked me here. Greg asked me, Ravs, do you actually believe in all that Freud crap? It's interesting that you mentioned that. I don't believe in anything in psychology, 100% across the board. I really don't. I have a degree in it, and I think that I would say most of psychology is a load of it. It's based on studies that are just ridiculous. I was involved in collection. UCLA is very big in research, and the research studies, the way they're developed, you can come up with any theory that you want and get support from it the way they tested it. The whole thing is this scam. The whole Freud is interesting because the name came up today. I was in a conversation. I was at the beach today. There was a giant snake at the beach. Okay, there was a giant snake at my beach. Big rattler, about the size of a big boa constrictor. I mean, the thing was giant, bigger than you, lady, bigger than your ego. Big damn snake there. Guy was at the beach today. Another surfer almost stepped on this thing, and then started coiling up. And almost stepped on it. Freaked out. This guy literally almost pooped in his pants. He was running around screaming, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm freaking out! I almost stepped on this giant snake." And then when we finally calmed down, he goes, "Oh my God! I'm so freaked out. I know I'm going to have nightmares tonight about this snake." So all of a sudden, I said to myself, "Should I tell him?" According to Freud, if you have a dream about a snake, that's a phallic symbol. So you can rest assured that you didn't actually dream about snakes, you dreamt about your penis, so you have issues with your sexuality. So just take comfort in the fact that if you see that snake tonight while you're asleep, you've got sexual problems. Okay, so that was what I was going to tell him.
I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I had all these nightmares about snakes when about 20 years ago, and I was living with my parents, and I had really vivid dreams like snakes chasing me, and someone had a book on dream interpretation.
Yeah.
Said that dreams about snakes are fear dreams, where the dreamer expresses fear of anything that moves in a hidden way.
Okay, because it was a female probably, right? And she's got penis envy, so she's not going to allow herself to say, oh, yeah, it's about penises, because she has a problem with penis, right? So I'll tell you that Freud would say that, the whole sex thing is chasing you down. One of two things, either your own sexuality or the thought of, let's say, other men are chasing you down. Like maybe you're running away from your homosexual side. And really you want to be with a lot of dicks, and they're coming at you, and you're scared because and you're out of control with that.
I have power.
So there's that. All right. Next thing. So we covered that. Let's talk about some current events from this last week.
Yeah.
Where do we start? So many things happened. Wow. Let's talk about 9/11. That was yesterday.
I'm against 9/11.
You're against it? Yeah. How come you're not even in the... Oh, you know what I did? Oh, shoot. I shook the laptop so that when I banged my water there, okay, now we're good. 9/11 was yesterday. What are your thoughts about 9/11?
Well, I commemorated the 10th year anniversary of 9/11, but